Love that pick up and go. Oh, that's fun. The Volvo EX30 was introduced for the 2025 model year. There are 2 primary trim levels in the US, 3 different options in Canada, and a boatload of available features. And in this video, I want to take a quick look at the EX30 and help you figure out if this car is worth the buy. Pricing for the EX30 in Canada starts at around $57,300 versus $46,200 down in the US. And that's with a little bit of an asterisk because it's going to depend on what state or provincial incentives that are available. And that's also before the tariffs have come into effect. So I have no idea how that's going to affect the Volvo pricing because it is a Chinese EV. So I'm curious what the long-term repercussions are going to be. But you do have those base entry-level prices as of the time of shooting this video. This is the ultra trim level, which is the creme de la creme and has all of the available options. But if you don't care about a 360 camera, particulate filter, some more advanced driving features, the lower trims could be for you. This one is in the cloud blue exterior, which is nice little baby blue. And the interior is the Breeze, which is available in Canada, but not in the States. It's kind of funky, but I'll point out some highlights as we get inside. Looking at the drivetrain inside of the EX30, it's either rear-wheel drive or there's an all-wheel drive setup. The all-wheel drive setup has more power and the handling. Oh, that hugs nicely. I gotta do another loop around here. Oh, it's not a sports car, but still. Oh, that's fun. So nice. So nice at the same time. No complaints there. No complaints at all. If you're in Canada like me or in northern states or somewhere where you get some snow a couple months out of the year, go for the all-wheel drive version for 2 reasons. First one is that you get way better handling in comparison. So rear-wheel drive, you're going to fishtail a lot in slippery, snowy conditions versus all-wheel drive is great year-round. On top of that, the all-wheel drive setup also has more power, which I'll touch on as we get underneath the hood. Series of different wheel sizes and styles are available, so it's an 18-inch wheel at a minimum, 19-inch for the most part though, and the Ultra technically has a 19-inch wheel standard with the option of moving into a 20-inch instead. The wheels are kind of neat, a little bit different. It's EV style. Well, I'd love to see more of a traditional style wheel. I get it, you're going to affect range a tiny little bit, but having a more traditional wheel I think would make this car pop a little bit more. The front end style of the EX30 is pretty simple. You're going to find LED headlamps inside of the ride that do have a pretty neat design to them. And the technology-wise, inside of the Plus and the Ultra trim, you're going to find the park sensing system in the front. And then in the Ultra trim, you get a front-facing camera. So there is a full 360 view available. Not standard across the board, but it is a pretty useful piece of technology. Underneath the hood of the EX30, it's a simple design. There is a teeny little bit of frunk space and an interesting little highlight with the EX30 and then a little moose. Nice little graphics there, but no real functional space. The frunk is there, you just won't be able to fit much inside. And then you've also got access to your wiper fluid along the right. Inside of the EX30, there's only a single battery choice available, and it's a 69 kilowatt hour option. This is the all-wheel drive version, which pushes out an impressive 422 horsepower and 400 pound-feet of torque. So let's get back up to highway speed in 3, 2, and... $100. All right, that's fine. That's a good time for sure. Oh, I like that. And the warranty inside of the Volvo world is pretty good. Basic and powertrain are a 4-year, 80,000 kilometer or 50,000 mile, with the electric hybrid components getting pushed up to 8 years, 160,000 K, 100,000 mile. And one nice thing, because it's an electric, you don't have to worry about as much maintenance in comparison to the internal combustion counterparts. Charging for the EX30 is done just along the driver's side. It's got support for level 1, for level 2, and for level 3 DC supercharging, with level 3 charging maxing out at 175 kilowatts, which is pretty solid. The overall charge times that you're looking at in the EX30 depend on so many factors. Are you level 1, level 2, or level 3 charging? And then on top of that, is it cold outside? Because in general, for EVs, it takes about 20% longer to charge in colder conditions. We're talking like under 0 degrees, it's going to take you a bit longer to charge up. As an example, I don't have a charge station at home, so I'm just a regular wall plug. This is a 69 kilowatt hour battery. So to go from 0 to 100% takes me 69 hours. Depending, again, on if it's cold outside or not. So ideal conditions like today, you're looking at about that 69 to 70-ish hour range to go from 0 to 100. If you do a level 2 plug at home, if you're getting, let's say, 10 kilowatt hours, you're 7-ish, roughly, hours of charge to go from 0 to 100%. So the overall charge times do vary, but the question of whether or not you even need a level 2 charge station at home is going to depend on your own personal circumstances. Because if you only drive a few kilometers or miles per day, you could just plug into a regular wall plug and you're set to go. So that may not even be necessary. That's just one thing that you need to consider inside of your ride. So if you want the best possible range inside of your EX30, go rear-wheel drive. But if you're in northern states or in Canada, all-wheel drive, you only take a little bit of a hit and you get way better performance overall. The rear end style of the EX30 is pretty simple. I do like what Volvo's done with the design of the lamps, and they do wrap around. There's a nice glossy black highlight that shoots all the way across. Technology-wise, you're going to find the reverse park sensing system along with a backup camera. So that's standard pieces of technology. You are going to find reverse brake assist, which is kind of neat. So as you're backing up, whether into a parking space, out of a parking space, etc., if there's an obstacle behind you, the car can automatically brake for you. So you can toggle that off if you really want, but it's a pretty neat setting. You can also tow inside of the EX30, regardless of whether it's the rear wheel or the all-wheel drive version. You're maxing out at 2,000 pound towing capacity. But if you are towing, especially heavier loads or even a car full of people with gear, just go in knowing that will affect your overall range. How much it gets affected depends on your driving habits. Are you the type of person where the light's green, you got it? Your range is going to be affected, like I said, especially with heavier loads. But as a driver, your range won't be affected if it's just you. It's just that with more people and towing, it will be affected. Getting into the trunk of the ride can be done a few different ways. You can use the infotainment system to do it. There's no option of doing it on the key fob whatsoever, but just underneath the L in Volvo, there's a button along the back. You can push that in order to raise this up. Simple. You can see that there is a little cargo protector here. Easy enough to pull it out and reinstall. And then feature-wise, there's not much back here. There's nothing off to the right-hand side at all. And off to the left, there's a little light, and then the only 12-volt power point that you're going to find inside of the car. That's one thing that I would love to see Volvo change around, is put another 12-volt in the front. And the reason why is because if you haven't hardwired a dash cam in, or if you're using other accessories that require a 12-volt, you got to kind of fish things through. So I think that there should be one more 12-volt in here, but as of right now, that's the only option. There's a little storage tray here, and lifting it up, you're going to find the charge cable. So there is a 20-foot charge cable that does come from the factory, and it's got support for level 1 and for level 2. You just have to unscrew the tips in order to be able to swap them out. So you could go one way or the other there, which is useful. And despite the spelling on the brick, it is rainproof for level 4, which is an IP67 weather rating. So you can't fully submerge the brick in water, but if it gets wet for a bit, it's snowing outside, it's raining, whatever the case may be, you'd be able to charge up with the brick outside, no problem. And folding down the second row seats inside of the ride can be done from the second row, but you can easily reach it from the trunk too. So a 40-60 bench, so it's 40 along the driver's side and 60 along the passenger. And you might actually need to move the seats forward in order for those seats to initially drop down. So with the driver's seat being set up for myself being 6 feet tall, that second row seat actually can't fold down. So you have to move it forward a bit in order for those seats to fall flat. Well, flat-ish. They're pretty flat, but the cargo measurements that you're looking at, specifically the ones behind the first row, go from right where that trunk door would close to just in behind the little console armrest between the first row seats. So with the driver's seat, passenger seat, where forwards or backwards, you might gain or lose a little bit of extra space, but there's still a pretty solid amount of space inside of this ride. No complaints at all. Reinstalling this, super easy. Line up and drop down. Take these little fellers, install, and you're set to go. Looking at the size of the EX30, I'm 6 feet tall and I am just absolutely towering over this car. But getting inside, straightforward. First row, easy enough. Second row, a little tight. Ooh. Yeah, a little tight just depending on how far forward or backwards those seats are, but you're not going to find any assist handles across any of the doors inside of the ride. Now, one thing about the EX30 is that you've got these as your fobs. So as you walk away, it's going to automatically lock the doors. You can lock using your phone as well, so you can use the Volvo EX30 app. If you want to walk through in the app, so not remote starting, but preconditioning your cabin, setting charge times and schedules and things like that, you'll find it down below. Now with the little NFC card here, you can tap there in order to unlock the doors. But like I said, as you walk away, it's going to automatically lock. You've also got your little fob here. Again, no buttons whatsoever. And this also doesn't have a battery that you can pull out, so it's a lithium ion. The one downside, you have to make sure that you charge up. But as you walk away, so the mirrors here, I should say, are going to automatically fold in. So they're power folding. They've also got turn signals built in. With a 360 camera, you've got a side-mounted camera. Regardless, they're auto dimming, so it's automatically going to dim them for you if there's an idiot behind you with their high beams on. And then you're also going to find a blind spot monitoring system. So it's going to highlight there to let you know if somebody's entered the blind spot on either side of the ride. Hopping inside. Look at that breeze interior. We'll get there in a second, but along the door, there's nothing. It's simple. Simple design with a handle, a little bit of storage down low, multi-way adjustable driver's seat, so you can adjust out a number of different things inside of the seat. Yeah, I like the color of the seat, but one thing I'm not crazy about with the breeze interior is this highlight, like the ambient light or the ambiance, as it's called here. But yeah, I used to have a home gym and the rubberized floor mats had this same kind of pattern design. So I'm personally not crazy about it in a car. I would probably skip the breeze interior and go for a different one. But if we look at first row spacing inside of the ride, so with the seat as far down as it's going to go, up overhead, this is ridiculous. I've got like 5-6 inches of headspace. So if you're 6'5", 6'6" even, you might be able to fit into this car no problem. It's actually kind of wild. The seats are comfy. I will give it that for sure. It's nice and comfortable. And then even looking at the color of the breeze. So the color of the breeze seat's pretty nice, but you'd have to get that highlight. I'd go for a darker interior myself though, but that comes down to a preference. And other things to point out. There's no traditional cluster screen. There's no head-up display inside of the ride. Everything is done through the infotainment system here. So this top part is fixed into place, and then you've got a series of different controls that are available inside of the infotainment. But if you want walkthroughs, like you want to know how to use the steering wheel buttons, use the cruise control system, etc., you'll find walkthroughs down in the description, including a full walkthrough on the infotainment. But it's feature packed. You've got a full 360 camera inside of the ride, which is nice. You can move across to different views if you'd like to. You've got your 360 view there. The car does also feature park assist, and it can help out with both parallel and perpendicular parking. But if you want a walkthrough on how to actually use park assist, you'll find that down in the description of this video. There is wireless Apple CarPlay inside of the ride. There's no support for Android Auto though, so you could hook up over Bluetooth for Android devices to make phone calls and stream audio, but this is a Google device itself. So you can go into the Play Store in order to get to the majority of apps that you'd probably end up using anyways. But a lot of different options and flexibilities. All of your climate control settings are baked in. There's a heated steering wheel, the option for heated first row seats, and then all of your basic climate control settings. And since this one is the Ultra, there's also a built-in particulate filter, so you get better air quality inside of the ride. It's good. A series of different controls. But yeah, like I said, you're going to find a full walkthrough down below. You've got your glove box. It's so interesting. Like you'd never think it. And one cool thing is that you can actually password protect the glove box so it can't open up until you enter a password to do it. Kind of neat. Moving down low, you're going to find a wireless charge pad inside of the ride. And then you've got some floor storage down there too. There are 2 USB Type-C charge ports, so there aren't data transfer, strictly for charging. The little console armrest here is locked into place, so you can't slide it, move it around. Like there's a good amount of storage down low. You can move this though into 2 different levels. which is kind of neat. So no sunglasses holder anywhere in the car, but if you want to, you can stop it, hide it. All of your window controls are there, unlock lock buttons, and then you've got controls for your rear on top of that. So you just tap that in order to be able to open up or close the rear windows. Kind of neat. So you can see there, I mentioned there's ambiance inside of the ride, so different color schemes there that are available. They do look pretty sharp at night. It's a subtle detail or subtle highlights throughout, but it is available there. Up overhead, you're going to find an SOS mode, your 4-way blinkers with your basic controls there for your cabin lights. There's an auto-dimming rear view mirror. And then this little guy, there's a ticket receipt holder built in. Vanity mirror does not have lights built in though. And then this does not stretch out at all. So you're going to get a teeny little bit of sun, just depending on how far forward you sit. But the overall design here, it's simple. Like, they ended up making this car for a more simple design. There are a few different speaker choices available. So there's either a 5-speaker system in the core trim, or in the Plus and Ultra, you're going to find a 9-speaker Harman Kardon audio system. The audio inside of the ride sounds great. But let's go ahead and make sure seats reset. I like that. You can adjust the lumbar tilt and things like that, but neat. Let's go back to that second row. All right, so as of right now, the driver's seat set up for myself, being 6 feet tall. Ooh, look at that. It's a little tight, but hold on. Door highlights, exact same thing. There's nothing really here. Basic highlights, a little bit of storage with a speaker. But like I said, I've got this seat set up for myself being 6 feet tall, and it's tight back there. Knee space, not really. Foot space, not really. Head space, though. It's all right. I've got, what, 2.5, 3-ish inches of head space, which is actually pretty good. One nice thing is that the floor down there, there's no real hump in the middle. So if you needed 3 adults back here, it could work. It's a little tight, but it would work. This seat is close to as far forward as it's going to get. So, I mean, you do get a pretty good amount of space overall. You've got a little light. There's no hook, but you can insert a hanger if you'd like to there. You're going to find all of the tether points as necessary. Anchor points, or anchors, I should say, top tethers in behind the seats. Middle seat there is not bad from a comfort perspective level. You're going to find some mat pockets behind both the passenger and the driver's side. Some USB Type-C power points with your window controls back here on top of that. And then you can access some passenger storage in the back here too. Oh, neat. Look at that. Little highlight there too. Cool. Little touches, Volvo. I like that. But overall, from a comfort perspective, it's definitely there. Visibility perspective, it's pretty good. The technology in the car is nice and simple. Now, one thing, as much as I love the panoramic roof inside of cars, it just opens it up so nicely. The EX30 doesn't have a shade available built into the car. So there's an aftermarket option available. On days like today, when it is super bright, like look at my forehead right now. It's like glossy, like wild. It's just because there's sun beating down pretty much right onto my face there. So one thing that I would do looking at the EX30 would be to get the sunroof tinted, or the panoramic roof there tinted a little bit darker, actually probably as dark as you possibly could. Okay, let's get some en route handling. Here we go. Oh, it's like a bullet. Oh, I love that. Oh, that's nice. It's one thing that I like about the all-wheel drive version of the car compared to the rear-wheel drive version. It's just so much more powerful in comparison. And then looking at road noise instead of the EX30, there's no active noise cancellation. Yeah, windows are fully rolled up, so there's no active noise cancellation inside of the car, so you can tell it's no different that you're going to find in most cars. It's an acceptable level. The seat while driving is really comfortable too. One downside to the seats is that you don't have the option for the massage chair seats that you're going to find inside of other Volvo vehicles. I do like the Pro Pilot Assist system though inside of the EX30, so it's not fully self-driving, but hands off the steering wheel here for a few seconds. After about 10 seconds or so, you do get a little message inside of the upper part of the infotainment. Yeah, there we go. Keep hands on steering wheel. So you've got about 10 seconds before you get that message. So it's not hands-free driving, but it can take you around bends, keep you perfectly balanced in your lane. You've got the option of just moving into a traditional, or I should say a regular adaptive cruise control without that lane centering. But I mean, it makes sense to keep that pilot assist system running in tandem with the adaptive cruise. And that was everything you needed to know about the Volvo EX30. You can find all of the build details for this one down in the description with links off to Volvo Canada, US, and then all the tech walkthrough videos too. But what do you think? Could you see yourself owning an EX30? Share your thoughts down in the comments section. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Share it with someone if you think they might find it helpful. And until I see you next time, take care. It's available rear-wheel drive, and then they are covered in a nice glossy bezel. I was like, why aren't you opening? Oh, come on. Get out of here, B. So, for example, oh, God, come on. If it's outside during weathery conditions, God. Charging for the EX30 is done just along the passenger side. The passenger, that's a drag, you goof.